Thank you, Tom. Well, I know you're ready to get right down to it, and I have a lot of information to share with you today. And I've got a white paper, 40-page handout. Bill, if you could start passing that forward, and we'll just read through it together. How does that sound? Well, if you're like me, the sound of that makes me feel like this.
Yes.
And we're living in an information overload world, aren't we? And if we're feeling this way, our clients are probably also feeling inundated with information and content. It's a fact that 90% of all the data in the world has been generated in the last 2 years. Can you believe it? Isn't that amazing? So we feel frustrated, don't we, with all of this information coming at us? We're distracted by all the different sources by which we get the information. And we're distracted, we're bored. So, of course, today we're going to talk about the solution being stories. And it's not just the written word, because we're all visual learners. We want to use images. And the stories can be a story in one image. It can be in a series of images. Could be in a video. Sometimes the story can just be a combination of visual and words. So I'm going to give you an example of some of the trends that we're seeing. Some of you may have seen this 1-minute commercial. Let's take a listen. Does anyone remember the Volkswagen commercial at the Super Bowl? Darth Vader, a lot of you remember that. One of the special things about that commercial was, do you remember there were no words? It was totally without script. The other thing that's important to note about that commercial is that, do you remember what the commercial was selling about the Volkswagen? What was the benefit of buying a new Volkswagen? There was a new feature on the car, and it was the remote startup. Do you remember the father was in the kitchen and started up the car when his son was out front? So it was a great combination of telling a story, entertaining us, and then showing us how you can still sell something and still cover all the important points, but actually be entertaining. And there was a heartfelt moment in there too. Remember when the father and the son connected, and so you get that feeling good. So these are some of the things that we want to look at when we're creating our own stories, is we want to connect on that emotional level and have that feel good, as well as communicating the information we want to get across. So the shape of content is changing. And it's no longer just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Do anyone remember Dragnet? In the past, the information that's been coming at us in terms of white papers and things like that has been really static. What we're looking at with stories is something more dynamic. In the past, the information has been about statistics. And now we're talking about stories that string together information and really inspire us to take action.